Thanks for joining me. This is my old 3 Series. It's the 318 diesel. It's done 166,000 miles. It's on a 2010 plate and the timing chain's broke. So let's get stuck in. Let's get the bonnet up and get this thing sorted. So my first thought was, will I be able to get the engine crane in with the bonnet still being on the car? Which I think we can. So let's get the engine cover off. Get a few tools ready, some Torx bits, got my little screwdriver there. A great Milwaukee bit of kit. These are little Torx bolts, we'll just pop those out to get that air ducting out of the way. There's loads of room at the front of this engine once you get these panels off, which is nice, giving me something to pull it forward. That's a little 10mm socket on that. You can get this air box out. Two bolts there, and then the little Jubilee clip holding the pipe. Now these are tight, these plastic things. You know, I've cracked the Jubilee off, but it's still fiddly to get it off. Get the old screwdriver in there, give it a good wiggle, and eventually it will pop off. Which then brings us on to the next problem, which is that these wires and the connector plugs, you know, they've been on there for 10 years, and they can be really tricky to get off. This one was an absolute pig to get out, but eventually we got it, released the clip, and away it comes. Then we've got the turbo induction pipe there, which got a little spring clip on the bottom, a few vacuum pipes just to clip off, and then that's away as well. I've got those in more detail on the water pump video, which was previously which I've previously uploaded. We'll get the this is the pollen filter, 8mm bolts. We'll have that out of the way, and then we're just going to try and get rid of this bit of scuttle if we can, give us a bit of room. So we've got the 2 fuse box covers, one either side there, and then 2 more 10mm bolts, I think they were, or 8mm, and then release the clip on that main wire, the temperature sensor and the air quality sensor, bonnet switch, and away it comes. Pull it towards you. That's the scuttle out of the way. Now we've got the main positive feed, and I tried to do this leaving the battery connected because I hate disconnecting the battery. Sometimes it can corrupt ECUs and all sorts, so I thought I'd try and just tape these up for starters and just see if I can do it without removing the battery, which you'll see in a bit failed miserably. But yeah, it was worth a go. Did the same with the alternator, just took the main power feed off there, put some tape around it so it doesn't short out and anything. You live and learn. I thought I might be able to do it this way, but yeah, I ended up having to disconnect the battery. So yeah, that's that removed. Pull that to one side. And then we've got this soundproofing at the back there, just one little clip holding that, and we can get the main soundproofing off the top of the engine, which covers the injectors and the injector pipes. We'll get it up on the jacks. We've got the Sealy low entry jack there and a Viva on the other side. I'll put links in the description for all of the tools and parts that I'm going to use in the videos. Axle stand as well, and my little trolley board so I can roll around on the floor. These under trays, oh my god, this one has been on there, like I say, for ages. I've took it off a few times, but the bolts are just getting corroded. Some of them are that corroded that they've rounded off, and I've had to get the the mold grips on there to try and crack them off. I ain't telling you how long this job took me to get this under tray off. I was on it an hour. Do you know what I mean? It was a pain in the backside to get all these little bolts off. I was faffing and fiddling about with clips and Jubilee clips and mold grips and all sorts, trying to get them off, and then there we go. The joy of it. A load of grit in your face, but it was down, and that was the important thing. So we had rid of that, and then we can continue then, because we've got more under trays, and this one again was a pig. The back bolts rounded off, no thread left on them at all there. You just couldn't get the socket on them, and the mold grips couldn't even bite them, they were that corroded. So I ended up moving it out of the way, which freed it off, and then managed to just undo it, and away it came eventually. But like I say, this took me ages to get these trays off, so I'm going to have to get some new bolts for those. That's that out of the way. Done. And that gives us a bit of access to the gearbox, so I can now drop it down, and we can get on it removing this, well, we've got to drop the coolant out and then get the injectors and all that out of the way. I've got my cut out milk bottles, these. It's a great tool for catching the antifreeze. Just release the lid just to let it flow through, and then we've got the bleed screw there as well, so just crack that off as well, and we'll get a bit of flow through and hopefully be able to drop some of this coolant out. Keep catching it and taking it away, bottling it up, until eventually we've got it all out. mop up the spillage that we've got there. We don't want the dogs getting any of that and causing them problems. So we can try and get this hose off the side here, and this one again was solid as a rock, couldn't get it off. So let's change over and go to some of the other pipes and connectors. We've got all the vacuum pipes at the front, a few connectors, we've got camshaft sensor on the front, we've got a couple of solenoids, and just slowly pulling all the wires off and yeah, making them tidy and getting them ready for the thing to be lifted out. So we've got glow plug wires, they just push and pop those off, and just moving everything back and out of the way. We've got injector wiring, they're just again push clips to pull them off the injectors. Now some of these clips again are a pain to get out. You've got to release the little safety lock on the top and then squeeze the plug. I'm just checking here just to see, is it going to come off? How does it come off? Because like I say, some of them are really stiff. This one was being a right pain, but eventually with a bit of persuasion and a pair of pliers, a little good wiggle and a pull, it comes away. Come on, get hold of it. Squeeze the tab and gently pull it. There you go. Oh, thank goodness for that. Same again with the one on the top. Push the tab and give it a little pull, and away it comes. We're getting there slowly but surely. Just feed these wires out of the way as best we can for now. So let's move this actuator out of the way. This is for your intake. Regulates the airflow. We'll pop that out of the way because I'm struggling to get the pipe out at the minute. This is the turbo pipe. We'll get that heat shield soundproofing out of the way. There's a little push clip either side. We can pull that through. Sorry about the camera shot there, you just see my back, but there it is. It's got a horrible clip on it there, look, which was a real pain to get out. And then the same with this side. This one was a bit of a pain as well. It's like a plastic mounting with some solenoids and stuff on it. Vacuum actuator, we'll get that out of the way, and we can pull the wires up and then get the injector wiring off the injectors and then feed those out and around from pipes. Get that out of the way. Oh look, here's the big loom starting to move. Yes, we have the loom out of the way. Just about. Still got a few little ones down the side to try and get off. Now we can get at the inlet manifold. Ah. Now, I thought to myself, I was struggling with some of the connectors down the back, so let's take these wires off the ECU, which I did. Some of it came out, some of it didn't, so we're still kind of in a bit of limbo on that one. But we're going to get these two crossbars out of the way, these strut braces. One big bolt in the middle and a couple either side, and then they just slide out. Like so. Beautiful. That's them out of the way. Gives us a bit more room again to move on to this inlet manifold. Glow plug, main feed wire out of the way, and then I'm going to whip all the bolts out that hold this inlet manifold to the head. Now this, I'm not joking, is a pain. It's a real pain. I got all the bolts out and it just would not budge. Take these two out the front as well, and just get that off, and you'll see the soot in here is incredible. This is from the EGR, so the exhaust gas recirculation, all the dirty exhaust fumes get chucked back into the inlet manifold. And look what it does to your car. It makes horrendous. Really look at it.
That's going to need a good clean up.
Like I say, once I've got rid of all of this and put it back on again, it's going to run like a dream. I mean, look at the choke in there. That much carbon. But eventually we get this off, and like I say, this was really tight to get off. The manifold it's like one that it's got swirl flap holes for it, but it's been modified and it hasn't got swirl flaps anymore. This is from the factory. This isn't something I've done. And this little plastic gasket, it was just holding the manifold on, so I had to separate it. It's got 4 little push clips on the side, but they are really stiff. I thought they were going to snap, but I managed to get my screwdriver in and pull it out. I'll show you the clips. I'll hold it up to the manifold in a minute when I can figure out which way around it goes. But you can see how that's been adapted to take up all the indentations where the swirl flaps would fit. And I'll show you the clips. It's not that way around. You've got to turn it around, mate. Go on. Yeah, keep going. Go on, spin it round. Fully round. Oh my God, it's confusing. Yeah, there you go. and then that sits on there. And you see these little clips? There's 4 of them. They what were holding it all together. I think the reason it won't come off, it's got 2 dowels that go into the head, and they were stuck, and that's why I couldn't actually free it off until it was all separated. But yes, there we go. That's going to take some right cleaning, that is. Look at the carbon in there. Yeah, pain. That was a real tricky bit to get off. We'll suck the debris out of the way that I've got there. I'll have to do a decoke on it, decoke, and put some tissues in the holes just to stop any bolts falling in there while I'm messing about. And then we can carry on disconnecting. Now I've got this the heater hose there, which I couldn't get off, or the main coolant hose. Now I've got a bit more room. Away it comes. So we are getting there. Then it brings us on to the leak-off pipes on the diesel injectors. These have got a little R-clip holding them on. So you pull the little clip off, pull the pipe out, put the clips back on to keep them safe, and then move that that leak-off pipe out of the way. That's for the diesel return and to bleed the injectors. Now we've got the fuel rail, and these are the injector pipes coming off the high-pressure fuel rail there. So we'll crack those off and crack them off on the injectors as well. And then just undo those. There's 4 bolts holding the actual high pressure rail down, so we'll whiz those out. These are all E-Torx bolts. BMW love using them. We'll get the 2 brackets out of the way, and then we should be able to lift that rail and the hoses and the pipes all out. There we go. That's that out of the way. Apologise for the camera and the reflection from the sun. It's a nightmare. It's a beautiful day, but it's played havoc with the footage. So these are the injector retaining bolts. We can whiz those out. Take the little brackets off. 1 for each injector. And how are these going to be tight? I'm not sure. Just mark them 1, 2, 3, and 4. They've got to go back in the same holes, and they come out really easy. It just little wiggle, out it comes, nice and clean. Second one again, you can see how clean that is. It's just come straight out. Look, beautiful. The third one, slightly different. That's the rocker cover gasket is leaking, and it's got a bit of oil residue dropped into the cylinder. And then the last one, nightmare. There's always one, isn't there? And it's going to be the one right at the back. I just took out the cam sensor at the back there to give me a little bit more room. So I'm giving it a tap, and it's just moving tiny bit, little bit, hardly anything. So I've got a socket over the thread, which I'm really dubious about, but the special tool is a threaded version of this. So I'm just going to keep moving it. I'm spraying some lube down there. I'll just keep working it. This is taking, to get this injector out, about 40 minutes. So it's been a real pain. It was moving just like half a millimetre either way. And so I'm just working it, and eventually it got moving. And it's moving side to side, but it was still struggling to come up. I just hope that we haven't done any damage to the threads on it. When we go to put it back in again, we shall check that though before we do. But you hear it squeaking. It's almost corroded. Let's have a look. You see, look at the corrosion on that. So we must have a bit of water ingress getting down the back there. Caused that just to corrode into the hole, into the injector hole. But we'll give it a good clean up before we put it back in. And the threads don't look too bad. I think we've got away with it. I'll put that sensor back in again just to keep that nice and safe. And then we can have this valve cover off. Crankcase cover. Rocker cover. Call it what you like. We just get under there, work that again, just levering it up, and up it pops. And then we can finally see what we want to see. What's happened inside. What damage have we got in there? Back bolt, just a bit tricky. Just get that all the way out, and then we're away. It looks a bit skanky in there, which, yeah, it's a little bit dirty. Got a bit of old oil residue there.
Ooh, that's not good.
That ain't good. There's a bit of the tensioner.
No chain anywhere to be seen.
The chain's long gone. Must have dropped down, but look at this. What a state. So there we have it, 100% confirmation. The timing chain is broke. We've got some damage. We've got some rocker damage. 2 of the rockers are broken, so we're going to need to replace those for sure. Let's call it a day on this one. So we'll move on to the next part, which is going to be digging down a bit deeper and getting the engine right out of the car so we could do a full strip down on it. Join me for that one in the next video. If you enjoyed it, drop me some thumbs up, like, subscribe. Subscription's free. Please click me a like and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.